All right, so let's go ahead and knock out our headline recap. The usual, we run through everything, give our thoughts on what we saw, so on and so forth, that way you kind of have an idea of what's up, what's going on. So this headline, we talked about this in chat quite a bit. Like, as far as the headline goes, we have this roadmap, and the roadmap was going to cover February to March, right? So we had February. In February, we had the anniversary start. We had the field update, Neon City. We had limited time quests. And there wasn't a whole lot here. It was mostly Neon City. And we got most of these things already, though. You know, the plastic model collab, the new scratch ticket campaign stuff. Like, we got, I mean, scratch tickets are scratch tickets. It's kind of like, they all blend together at this point, realistically speaking. Like, people get real upset there's so many scratch tickets, but reality what it is like there's maybe one or two new per block. And then realistically, what we get is a bunch of reruns. So in case you miss some stuff from previous, they make it not terrible for people that are coming back in later, try to pick up some of the fashion if they want to either spend some money or pray that some other people spend some money and they're able to go ahead and purchase off the shop. So realistically, like we get like a scratch or two per block, and then that's about it. Maybe an SG scratch mixed in there, and then afterwards it's like a bunch of reruns and things like that. So nothing crazy here. All we really had was like 2 limited quests, a limited time urgent, and then like new enemy. Like that was all that was in this block at all. So I wasn't expecting a whole lot in this wave, and it was more or less exactly what I expected. So we have the new AC Scratch Sorcery Academia, pretty standard. PSO2 lives and dies by its fashion, so I don't know why we are still surprised that AC Scratches are showing up and are a very big focus. It's very standard. That's the only way the game makes its money realistically is through AC Scratches, as the game is completely free. So you expect to see them. You're not expected to pull on all of them. They're there. They're available to you. Invest when you want to, and realistically, you never have to. If you want to just spend your time, then simply go to deck space. Rewind collection. Remember those rehashes I was talking about? Where you see things come back up again? There's the rewind for the first. Next, we have our first limited time. We have a limited time event. So this is the spring event. Pretty standard. Events are kind of whatever at this point, unfortunately. Like there's some events that stand out, but realistically, most events are kind of like eh. They come around too often. They really don't have much staying power or anything else that's really going on. And they're just mostly a vehicle for us to get delivered extra resources. Great if you're catching up, you're a bit behind. If you're caught up, it's mostly like just clean out the event shop to keep your stonks of materials very high and kind of move on from there. Got some build parts, so on and so forth. Yeah, it is what it is. Just an excuse for them to decorate, I guess. First of our new limited time quests. So drill blue sky, or sorry, limited time quest, drill blue sky racer skyscraper. So this is going to be an LTQ where you're fighting on the skyscrapers of Nameless City, where the enemies are, I guess, going to try to knock you off or knock you down. You're bouncing down from spot to spot, and it's a lot of small arenas that you're fighting in. It's pretty cool, but it is a tile set that we have seen before, which is not unheard of. That's not unusual. Being used in a different way. So Nameless City, but just the skyscraper specifically. And at the end of it, you will be fighting. They called him Ruin EX. I believe he was Dragon X before, but now it's Ruin EX. So that's interesting. So he'll be the final boss of this area. That's our new enemy that we're going to be fighting. New upgrade for equipment. So about the standard here. Within a month, we get the upgrade for Sporadio. This seems a little faster than previously. I feel like it's been like maybe 2 or 3 weeks realistically, but Sporadio's dropped fairly quickly. So this is the first upgrade to the next tier. I know some people are like, oh, hopefully we see a bigger jump, with more crit rate and things like that for the weapons. But realistically speaking, it's what's holding these things back is the potential power base. We'll have to talk about that in the video as well. I actually have a video I have unreleased. I got to get that out as soon as possible, but we'll talk about that more in that video of like the actual power of Sporadio. Did I miss anything from there? Actually, let me make sure. Oh, the special scratch. The Spring 26 special scratch is going to include 3 new camos. Actually, is that 4? Sakura, and then the 3 curios. Yeah. So Sakura and then 3 different curios. These are curios that'll apply to different specific weapons. So I guess technically, realistically, 2 new camos. It's like 1 camo in the 1 camo series, but yeah, it is what it is. Also, Sporadio is going to be upgraded via Sporadio Volt 1s. So, cool stuff. Potential and no PB gain. The issue is mostly potential. It's the potential base power is very, very low comparatively to something like the Archie weapons. But anyway, moving on from that, we have the 5th anniversary Thankful March Scratch, Revival AC Scratch. So you get tickets, I believe, from just doing daily stuff. AC scratch ticket polls in December. Yeah, free by collecting in-game tickets through weekly tasks. So this is like a free AC scratch. Some previous items you can get a hold of, including Big Bang Silver Scratch tickets, which are very valuable. Honestly, more valuable than most things these days. Just so you have a chance at getting more augment transfer vouchers. We have the AC Scratch Mystical Reverie. So this is our second like unique new scratch. This is the second scratch of this set. Pretty standard, again, what I'd expect. Scalies are going to go crazy for this one. I know you guys are super excited. We got some proper scales. We got some buff dragon boys. We have dragon girls. We have dragon camos. We have bunnies mixed in because why wouldn't you? We gave the bunny suit, or we gave the at least the top or the outerwear to males, and then the females, of course, got, or sorry, type 1, type 2, and of course, type 2 got to the outfit itself. So it is what it is. Oh yeah, and there's also a cutesy sitting on the ground in a nest, I guess. That's weird. And weapon display emote 18 is out. I believe that means that all weapons now have their weapon display poses. So that's pretty cool. Then the next limited time quest, we have Ruin EX Battle, where you just solo take on Ruin EX. This is also supposed to be an ARCS record as well. So this is going to be a 1v1. Pretty cool stuff. I actually like those quite a bit. This is our first, we weren't really seeing this one coming. This is actually a first departure. So we have a rerun of the Yours scratch. So in the past, usually the pattern, the way things tend to go is you have one of the augment scratches, then you have the other. So you have Yours, then you have Roddy or whatever it happens to be, or whatever the variants are between the two, and they stagger them between the two, right? So like you pick up during Yours whenever Yours comes around, and then when Roddy comes around, you pick up Roddy or whatever, and then you make sure you have a decent stock of those. And then the next time there's a weapon upgrade, you can expect that Yours is going to follow back around, and then you expect Roddy to come back around after that. So because there was a weapon upgrade, we were expecting to see Roddy come back around, or the upgrade for Roddy, as it's been a while since Roddy's been upgraded. It actually hasn't changed his scratch in a while. However, we're seeing Yours pop up again. Now, I think the reason behind that is they're delaying the Roddy upgrade because the Roddy upgrade is going to include the type AEX augments of a different type, and they didn't want to push those out too soon. I was kind of ready for that anyway. Now, the only thing I could say I'm concerned about, if I was even a concern in this situation, is they pushed it back because they're going to release a EX type B in the next scratch that goes along with the type A. I think that'd be a massive mistake. The A is one thing. The B is a little bit rough. I mean, it's still doable, but you're not going to get a good response from people out of it. These type A and type B EX augments are already very expensive, as the best ones are going for insane prices, and even the cheaper ones are still going for prices that seem a bit unreasonable. So realistically speaking, while this isn't going to make a massive difference for those who are actively playing and are paying attention to these, it's not going to elicit a response most people are going to want in the first place, right? Now, the only way this could be potentially even worse is if it ever was separated. The fact that these are included with the Yours and the Roddy means that they're grouped together. It gives more value for those who are actually spending, and then those who aren't spending, that are spending in-game money to get these instead, it's not as bad because they are grouped together, meaning that people are going to be scratching and getting a hold of ones they may not want as much. The thing to keep in mind is people always look at these from the cost of the high-end augments. You don't need the high-end versions of these. Even the low-end versions of these, if you're not a high-end player, are extraordinarily powerful. So just get the cheap versions and you're good 99.9% of the time. Moving on, we have our second half. This is the second half of the month. Starting it up with Drill Scorching Fortress Cleanup Op. Now, this is a LTQ that takes place in deck space. You heard it, deck space. Tinfoil hat theory, this is our new gold farm. It's not going to be the case. There's no way they're going to be in deck space, like regular deck space. T1? No, not going to happen. Rank 1 deck space will be the king. It'll be the king forever until we see another zone. Until Alter Realm rank 1 deck space. That'll be it. Anyway, this is an 8-player progressive quest. Pretty cool stuff. Like I said, one thing I will say that I've enjoyed so far recently is I feel like they've heard it, but they haven't really brought attention to it, is the LTQs have always been different now. A lot of times it's like a single room, same type of quest, either run in a circle or get a lot of points, so on and so forth. We're seeing a lot of progressive quest types. We're seeing a lot of like move through zones, a lot of using tile sets we have, but using them in different ways with different bosses and things like that, which is very PSO2, which is very Phantasy Star in general. Taking tile sets and using them in different ways, that's very, very classic Phantasy Star. So something that I would expect, but I like seeing this a bit more, is that we get different types of LTQs. Instead of like the usual, you know, stay in a room, deal a bunch of damage to a bunch of targets around a room and get a bunch of points or something or whatever, or walk in a circle, right? It's nice that it's a bit different, but it is still an LTQ at the end of the day, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have the limited time urgent Shadow of the Fallen Star. We're gonna reference this again in a little bit because they mentioned something about this, but we have, this is like a rerun of a previous urgent that we had. There's actually apparently a reason behind this rerun that we hear about later, but essentially it's a limited time urgent. They're gonna have upgraded, you know, rewards and things like that. This will be the urgent to run, so on and so forth. Basically get you running a different urgent or something different in general. Next season of Mission Pass. I've always said this before, I'll say it again when Mission Pass comes out. You need more shop passes. Either that or give free to play some shop slots. Please, for the love of God, just get it done. This is our third unique scratch. So we have Tea Time Harmony. Tea Time Harmony is just a butler scratch. We were joking around with chat about, oh, what if I get the butler? This butler outfit looks pretty sick. What if I get the butler outfit and then just run around with the EX or the server idol? Sir, your tea? Sir, your tea? Just run after them. Pretty funny stuff, honestly. But yeah, just another scratch. It is what it is. If you like it, cool. If you don't, just move on. PSO2 memories. So a revival. This is all base PSO2 stuff. I feel like these are only ever good for the accessories and nothing else. And our fourth and final unique scratch, the Quaint Ensemble. This one I actually like quite a bit. It's these sexy Japanese style outfits and elegant dresses. I mean, sexy is a choice, but it is what it is. I like the type 1 outfit on the left-hand side. It's actually a hairstyle that I use, but it is split colored, so I think that's actually kind of cool. I dig that quite a bit, so we might pick up that left side outfit. Other than that, pretty standard stuff. It's an AC scratch. Shouldn't have to explain it too much to you guys. And that's it for the information. Like I said, I didn't expect there to be a whole lot here. It's mostly LTQs, mostly urgents, but it is interesting. So the operation report spoke about the fact that we reached 12 million players across PSO2 and NGS. Cool. I mean, this is mostly just, you know, 12,000 people that have tried out playing Phantasy Star, which is dope. And they're giving out free stuff because of it. And then I watched the entire global chat complain about, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, there's not a whole bunch of people playing, blah, 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 blah. They're giving you free stuff, man. Who cares? You get free things. Let them enjoy and celebrate getting 12 million players to actually play the game. A lot of games don't ever reach that. Yes, some games get that at one time. Other games get that, and it's not a crazy thing. A lot of games don't make it this far. Okay? So, yes. We all know the primary player base is in JP. I am happy we have a version of the game we get to play. And it's on par with JP. Let's not ruin that. Let's not ruin that. Anyway, so we have a new story coming in April. They show off a teaser trailer. I'm not going to play it here. You guys should definitely play it yourselves. What I am going to do is show off the one part of the teaser trailer that was interesting. Oh, sorry, two parts. First, they mention that in the mysterious realm, we come up with a former adversary rises again. I'm not sure if this was intentional from a lore tidbit, but like I didn't realize that he was supposed to be part of like the whole altar realm situation. And then we get to see the new character. I don't know if we see her name or not. I forget. Talks about missing some memories. And then they explain that the new chapter is going to be the Altar Realm arc. That's pretty cool. Explains why he was speaking. He wasn't a ruin. You know, that makes a lot of sense, actually. We see a former adversary, and she talks about missing her memories. So the Altar Realm arc coming April 1st. Pretty dope. April Fool's Day. Gotta love it. JK, it's actually EOS. The game shuts down. I'm joking. That's obviously a joke. But pretty cool stuff. She's also very obviously a Slayer. We saw the Gunblade pose, so she was holding the Gunblade in content, so that's pretty dope. Now, the reason why I mentioned this beforehand, or I mentioned the other thing beforehand, was they mentioned specifically that there is a bit of a teaser to this character and who she is in this urgent quest. So this urgent quest we got a long time ago. Apparently there's a teaser somewhere in here to like information about her. So in this urgent quest, keep in mind this is us exploring the Crimson Realm, which Crimson Realm is a location that opens up when the Altar Realm starts seeping through. So we'll have to see what that's all about. It's possible it's been there the whole time. It's possible it was just something they added in, right? They're reworking it. Yeah, it's like something they added in. We'll have to see. And this also, if we take a look at the timing on her release, so let's go over here again. The timing on the release coincides with the update for the Slayer. So likely she's supposed to be the Slayer update, like her showing up in the story plus Slayer update at the same time frame. It's supposed to be a thing realistically. So we'll have to see. Actually rather excited. It looks like this is supposed to be a whole new arc to the storyline. I mentioned this in my chat beforehand, and I wanted this to kind of be a thing beforehand too, but I kind of wish we got something where we were moving away from Halpha. But what I'm starting to understand is that we're likely going to be going into the Altar Realm, an alternate reality, alternate version, alternate dimension. That's still going to be centered around Halpha-ish. While things are going to be looking different, they're not going to be looking completely different, so it's going to be a little samey, which that is a bit disappointing. I was looking forward to more of like an alternate world similar to like that of like Cradle, if you guys remember that area. For PSO2, like almost a different zone, more or less. I'm not like other people like, oh, I want to go to outer space specifically. Like different planets are just different tile sets at this point. Like it's not anything crazy. I like a more of a space vibe for sure. I would like to see that more often. Something similar to that of like episode 6, where we're fighting like on ships and fighting like inside massive ships or whatever that have really cool layouts. That would be sick to see again. But like that's what I'm looking for. Not just another planet, like literal just in space at that point. Outside of that, I was looking for more of like an alternate universe sort of thing. But I'm getting the vibe that we're not quite gonna go there. Like I don't think it's going to be that. I'm getting the vibe it's gonna be like alternate realm Halpha to an extent or degree. But they've subverted expectations before, so I'm not going to make that decision just yet. We'll have to see how it goes. We've already seen a couple of Altered Realm zones, and they do look similar in some cases, but they do look massively different in others. So it'd be really good. We'll have to see. I just want to be like, just keeping it real in that situation, right? But yeah, new story coming in April. Then we got an interesting new question. So please display critical rate in the stats screen. Critical hits are extremely important in NGS, so I wanted to be able to see my current crit rate. They answer this in a couple of different ways. They said, first and foremost, displaying the critical rate in the stat screen is apparently cumbersome or causes some issues with the system. They couldn't do that specifically. However, they are making an update to the damage tracker, essentially, that's built into the game. That's going to include crit rate and along with some other things. So I don't know what that means. They never really mentioned that they were doing something like this before, so that's very exciting for me. I would love to see how that's going to expand. Currently, the DPS meter is kind of messed up. And I say that because it doesn't really give you accurate DPS stats comparatively to those around you. It's mostly just when you hit the target. And if you're in an AoE situation and you hit a target and you happen to like go on fight something else and then come back to the target, it registers that amount of damage that you dealt. So like now your DPS is like you not hitting the target for 3 or 4 minutes. So it's a little unreliable in certain circumstances. We're trying to get a good idea. Or it'd be really nice to have just your damage overall against everything in a quest consistently. That would favor AoE and so on and so forth. But we'll have to see what they decide to do with this expansion or this update for the DPS tracker, but I'm interested to see where they're going with this. And apparently it's going to include things like critical rate. So it might have more information. So we'll have to see how things go. Other than that, they had, when changing my play environment, list of suggested items, names, personal shop disappears. Basically, item names and data is not lost. This is for people who play across multiple platforms, basically, where they lose some data whenever they swap between platforms. Things that are like autosave, they aren't listed there anymore. They're saying that they're working on it and they're doing that. So we'll have to see how that goes. All right, moving on, they have the celebration for the 12 million registered users around the world. Again, this is a very common metric a lot of games tend to use. 12 million people tried our game out, and that's cool. So whether it's global, whether it's JP, and of course, there'll be people like, oh, well, it's totally definitely JP. Global's like 500,000. Who cares, man? We have a game. They're updating it. They're actually keeping us on par. Let's not ruin that. That whole thing, like, just so you guys are aware, from a PSO2 perspective, BDO fans would kill for what we have. Absolutely kill. Crystal of Atlan would kill for what we have right now. There's a lot of games that are currently overseas that are ahead of what the global version gets. And the global version usually has to lag behind and wait. Parity is something that not a lot of games get, so we should be happy that we have it. It's very, very odd. Like, who cares? Yeah, the most outrage on retro engagement. It's very silly. It's very, very silly. But yeah, anyway, so this is free stuff for 12 million registered users. Yay! Does it mean a whole lot to us? No, as players, not really, no. But let the devs have their fun. They're happy, you know? It's a good thing. They're giving us free stuff. Free star gems. Celebratory gems. You love to see it. Oh, I didn't even notice this. Oh, all boosted campaigns for all urgent quests. That's actually pretty dope. It's 8 o'clock. My alarms are going off. All right, so yeah, I didn't even notice it's a boost campaign for all urgent quests. Dope. So this is 6th anniversary for Global. Kind of dope. Didn't realize it's been 6 years. 6 years with you nerds. Love you guys. And that's going to include the Thankful Scratch, boosted items, weapon camos, just more free stuff. More free stuff. You'll love to see it. Also, Central Volume 4 is pre-orderable. It's going to come with a... I thought you started playing a ukulele randomly for no reason. No, that's my alarm going off in the background. Sorry about that, guys. Pre-orders for Volume 4 of Central. The big thing here is it's going to include an in-game code where you get some emotes and a bunch of other stuff. They had a video showing it off, so you guys can check that out on your own time. I'll leave a link to the original headline, of course, in the video description, so you're welcome to check that out. Show it off again, and then, of course, shop in the PSO2 web store if you're going to shop at all for AC. That's TLDR. Honestly, as crazy as it sounds, there's only 2 places I ever recommend you shopping for this. You're like, oh, but Steam. Actually, no. Shop directly on the web store, and if anywhere else, this is going to sound crazy, go to Epic Games. I know, it's the EGS. I know it's not the best, but it is the one place where you can actually support creators while you're just spending money on AC anyway. So, you should definitely go to the EGS. If you have the space on your computer, you can install it, buy through there, and use codes. It doesn't cost you anything more, and then you help the creator out in the long run. And I know you guys spend money on AC, spend a lot on AC, so. And they talked about Nameless City, Neon City, and like, you know, the way it looks and the levels of brightness and all that good stuff. And I've said this multiple times. I would have liked for this to be a bit of a darker vibe, brighter lights, darker overalls, so it's a little bit more popping in, a little bit more brightness. They don't do that because, of course, they don't want too much flashing, so it's difficult to see. But something a reshade might fix for us. We might try that out. And then the next headline is the 31st of March. So it'll be two days after my birthday. Be going over April. April is probably going to be a bigger month than March, to be honest. April is the next tier of the roadmap. So you can see the roadmaps are broken up into 2-month tiers. April has got the story update. It's got the Slayer update, another new boss, new large enemy as well. Free SG scratch items, main story chapter 8. So the story stuff that's going to be going on in the main story chapter for chapter 8 is going on there. So that's going to be pretty dope. And that's going to be for April to May. So this is going to be like the bigger month. Realistically, it's probably going to be April. May is probably going to be pretty chill. June is level cap increases. So yeah, you can kind of see everything here. I'll leave a link to the roadmap as well for those of you guys who haven't taken a look at that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as the headline goes, not bad at all. Pretty solid, more or less what we expected. I was in a position where I was like, there really isn't much for them to show in the first place, so I'm not really expecting much. Solid 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10, keep in mind that's a scale of 10, meaning 10 is the middle, so 5 would be mid. It's just slightly above mid, which I feel like is reasonable considering it's mostly just LTQs. But there's the added benefit of, you know, weapon upgrade, which if you're someone, I saw this in chat too, if you're someone who's not super invested in playing every single day, you're not someone who's pushing high-end content, there is no reason for you to get a weapon outside of the 14 stars. I won't say the freebies, but like the free upgrade routes, right? The Sporadio series, the Leafladio series, like those are the weapon series for you because you can transfer off of them fairly quickly. People were complaining about weapon upgrades coming out too fast or whatever it happens to be, and like, if you're getting the paid weapons that are super expensive, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Stick to these. That's kind of like your upgrade path. And then, of course, the last note was just the yours pivot. I don't know what they're doing here in this situation. All I would recommend is if you spend money, this is a good scratch for you. If you don't spend money, now is a good time to go ahead and invest in Meseta, pick up what you need, and pocket it off into your storage. That way because this is the second years we've had, right? If you're running the free upgrade path, then you still have your years on there. If you're not and you're running one of the Archies, then you're not upgrading your Archie anyway, right? So most people who have their Yearses are good to go. This is a good chance to stock up if you might need for later. Just don't go too ham. Be very careful if you're buying for the purchase of or even reselling later, because you might lose out on some money. That's it. That's all I got. If there's anything I missed, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Like if you enjoyed the video. If you want to keep up with more, and I appreciate every single one of you guys, either channel subscribers or those guys on Patreon. I have more to come there. I'm still working out some things, and we'll get that taken care of. But you guys will see a lot of benefits that will pop up when when all that gets taken care of. Either way, take care, my friends.